In this lesson and the next lesson, we're going to learn how to create generic methods. And we're going to create these inside static classes. So rather than have a generic class that includes in it methods that use the type parameter that's part of the class definition, we're going to create generic methods that don't rely on a type parameter from the class definition. Instead, the type parameter is provided just in the definition of the method itself. If that doesn't make sense, you'll understand what I'm talking about in just a minute. So in this first lesson, we're going to create a method with a single type parameter. And in the next lesson, we'll create a method with two type parameters. So take a look at the program in front of you. And I've created a very simple array and put some names into the array. So what I want to do is write a method that will display the elements of this array, but that I can then turn around and use again with an array of a different type, such as an array of integers or array of booleans. So let's see how to do that. So we come up outside of public static void main, and we begin our definition of the method. And because we're not working inside a class, we have to define this method as static. Then we provide the type parameter, followed by the return type of the method, which is going to be void, followed by the name of the method, which is display, followed by the type parameter to indicate that it's an array of generic type, and a name for the array. At this point, the rest of the code is a simple for loop that loops through the elements of the array and displays them unless the array element is null. So we're going to check to make sure that each array element is not null, and if it's not null, then we're going to write it out to the system prompt along with the blank space. We close off our loop and close off the method definition. And let's come down to the bottom of our code, add a call to display with names. Let's save our program. Back to our system prompt, clear the screen, compile, and then run. And there are our names. So now, to test to see if the method is truly generic, let's create a new array. And this time we'll create an array of 10 integers, the integers 1 through 10. Notice that I have to use the object type, capital I integer, not lowercase int. Remember that generic classes and methods only work with object data types. Or the best way to say that would be that the data types are objects as opposed to the primitive built-in data types. So once we've created the array, then we should have no problem displaying it. Let's add a blank line between the two, like so. So there we go. So let's save the file, come back to our system prompt, compile it again, and then run it, and there we go. So to create a generic method, we simply have to provide a type parameter before the return type of the method definition and after the access modifier. So public, private, in this case, static, since it's a static method. So with that, we're finished with this lesson. Now let's move on to the next lesson where I'm going to demonstrate how to create a generic method that has two type parameters.